So Peter Roper finally found Kevin Cover, and so now we know who Kevin Cover is. I didn't even know who he was. I did some background information or some Googling. I couldn't find a Facebook page, an Instagram, a Twitter page, or anything on Kevin Cover, and I did find that he used to be a baseball player. He used to be a baseball player in Illinois, and then I think he's a baseball coach for one of the high schools, or he used to be. So he used to be one of the baseball coaches, and he used to play baseball for the University of Illinois. I don't know, some university in Illinois.
Man, do you have a passion for Pueblo?
Yeah.
Hop in.
So what did we find out? What did we find out about Kevin Cover? Well, he's got zero political experience. And some people might actually like that. So zero political experience. There's three important distinctions that I come up with when it comes to assessing a candidate and or a person actually in government. So the first test is a policy test. Where do they stand on the important issues? Where are they on net neutrality? So the first test is policy, the second test is implementation, and then I think the third test is optics, because power or perception is power. But first, policy, right? You need to have the right position on things. So when Jason Muniz says that he's in favor of free internet for everybody, that's a good policy. That's an important policy. That gets me dreaming, that gets me thinking, that shows me he's got vision. But the second question is, can Jason Muniz get us free Wi-Fi? He's a councilman, he's one of 7 voters, and then if there's going to be a mayor, then that means he's not going to have any power whatsoever to do anything. So the policy is free Wi-Fi. Cool. Now can he implement it? Now can he get it? So when I look at Kevin Cover, I'm guessing because he doesn't have political experience that he'll get in there and it'll just be like a gentleman's club, a sort of buddy-buddy thing. It makes me think like he'll be like an Ed Brown. Now, Ed Brown's not a bad guy, but I'm not for sure if he's really a good guy either in terms of policy. He seems like a nice gentleman, don't get me wrong, but in terms of policy, you know, I don't know what he stands for, and I don't know if he would stand up for it and get it. So if Ed Brown, you know, what is Ed Brown's wall? Donald Trump had a wall. What is Ed Brown's wall? What are we going to get with an Ed Brown council? If we put Ed Brown back into that council seat, what are we going to get? So I think some people might think it's a good thing that he has no political experience because he's not a part of the establishment. He doesn't know these people. He's not a part of the establishment. He'll get in there and he'll shake things up just because he's a new face, a new person, you know, who doesn't understand things. Now, I guess I want kind of a Wreck-It Ralph kind of person, you know. If you don't have any political experience, go into city council with the attitude that you're going to get to the bottom of things. You're going to get to the bottom of this. You're going to see what really is going on. Who are these contracts? Who are they making these backdoor contracts? What's the deal? How come this government can get some things accomplished but not others? What the hell is going on? So you're going to get in there, you're going to get to the bottom of things, and then you're always going to be honest. You're always going to level with the city of Pueblo. No matter what, you're not going to get into the gentleman's club. You're not going to get into this elite governance club and then forget about all the rest of us. Be like, well, hell, you made it, so now you get to sell out and then sell us all out to the bankers. Fuck that. Stand up to the bankers. If you're not talking about standing up to the bankers, if you're not standing up to the bankers, then you might sell out to them. I mean, you know, if you promise us, we don't know if we'll actually get it, but if you don't even promise us, there's no chance in hell that you'll stand up against the bankers. You didn't stand up against the bankers when you were wanting our votes. Stand up against the bankers. Don't let them run roughshod. Don't let them just grease your palms and then you sell us out. Don't ever sell out. That's another thing. Promise that you will never sell the people of Pueblo out. You're going to go into this administration. You're going to get to the bottom of things. You're always going to tell us the truth. You're always going to level with us. You're always going to say, look, here's this thing. This is what they're doing. It's all wrong. We need to fix it. You're going to be that person, that champion, that truth teller. You're going to be the people's champion, and you're going to tell the truth. And you're always going to stick with the truth. That's what I want out of my politicians. So Kevin Cover, being that he has zero political experience, I don't really think of him as a major player. I think he's a minor player. And unfortunately, I mean, he probably will get some votes because of that zero political experience thing, but that's important. You need to understand politics somewhat because you have to get your deals. Do you believe in Wi-Fi? How are you going to get us free Wi-Fi? You got to get the other council members to agree with Wi-Fi, and then you got to get the mayor signed on it. If the mayor is against you, then you got to get the supermajority of the council. So not just 4 of the 7, then you'll need to get 5 of the 7. So you have to get one extra one if the mayor's not for you. And you have to work around the mayor. If the mayor's not for it, you'll have to work around the mayor because that's the only way you'll get it. So, okay, Big Daddy told you you can't have free Wi-Fi. What are you going to do now? So Jason Muniz should assemble the other councilmen and women, if there's a woman still on council, which there probably will be, and then, get your votes. So you have to be, you're a tough as nails kind of person. I'm going to get in there, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to be tough as nails, I'm going to be a champion for working class people. So that way you don't have to, you can rest easy, working class people. You could go to work and you don't have to keep an eye on your government because of, Kevin Cover, if that was what his thing was. So Kevin Cover is going to take care of Pueblo City. He's going to go to Pueblo City. He's going to be our eyes and ears. He's going to make sure there's no shenanigans, no backdoor dealings. He's going to make sure that working class people always gets the better deal. So if Kevin Cover can promise me of all those things, then, I would back Kevin Cover. I would say, hell yeah, Kevin Cover. But he's not saying any of those things. In fact, he's coming right out of the gate, and he seems like he doesn't really know what's going on, and he's taking very tepid. He's taking little baby steps. He's just kind of tipping his toe in the water, which I guess that's how you begin. But I want you to jump in because you actually got something to say, and I'm not for sure if Kevin has something to say. Some more things of what he said. Sales manager for TV Dish Network. So that's who he is. He's a sales manager right now. He believes in pride in the community. Now, this is something else that Jason Muniz had talked about. He wanted pride in the community, as if that's all that it takes, right? I love Pueblo. Pueblo is incredible. I like Pueblo for lots of different reasons. Marijuana is legal here, so that's wonderful, Pueblo. That's awesome. The water works, the internet works, and it's fairly peaceful, so good job, Pueblo Police. I like the school board meetings. I like the city council meetings. I like the public forums of those meetings. I like how they're videotaped, which makes them above and beyond the county meetings, the school board meetings, and the county government. The commissioners, they don't want to tell the people what's going on. They don't record themselves and then broadcast that on cable access TV or online. You have to read their minutes, really, if you're not even at the thing, and then that's probably not even where the decision is made. It was probably made yesterday at some work session. So you could go to their meetings. They go to 2 meetings every week. The county meets up 2 times every week. The county has twice the size of the budget as the city does. In fact, the schools have bigger budgets than the city. The city is poorest when it comes to school district 70, school district 60, and the county government. Pueblo City is the poorest out of those 4 entities. Pueblo City has a budget of $81 million versus $108, $130, and $171 million, respectively. It's ballpark figures, but essentially the county government is tops, and then the 2 school systems, one's 130 and one's 109, and then the city is $81 million. So the county is making twice as much. They get twice as much revenue as the city does, and I guess the county has everybody, right? So they get twice as many. The county gets twice the budget, and actually I once heard that the school systems has $200 million budgets too, but I didn't see that. I saw 108, 130. There's more people in Pueblo City. There's more people in Pueblo City. So there's a population, 107,000 in the city, and then 165,000 for the county and the city. So 165, there's 60,000 more out in the county, but 107,000. So the overwhelming vast majority of the population who live in Pueblo County, Pueblo City, are living in the city. So I got a list of 15. I got a platform for Pueblo, so I finally just sat down and made that platform. So I got 15 planks on that platform, and there's already, some of them came from the other candidates, but there were ideas I agreed with. So I believe in universal internet. Let's get municipal internet, MuniNet. Let's get Pueblo MuniNet. In Minneapolis, it was only $8, $8 a month for high-speed internet, for high-speed Wi-Fi internet. So that's one of my planks, and Jason Muniz talked about it. It's his best idea. Jason Muniz has a wall. He's got a wall. If you elect Jason Muniz, he's going to fight to get the city some internet. That's going to be Jason Muniz's thing. That's what Jason Muniz will do, and that's almost a good enough issue to vote for him. Tommy Farrell, he's got one issue that I really like too. He is in favor of an oversight board. A complaint and oversight board. He is in favor of the 24 cop, the small tax, the tiny sales tax for the 24 new police. What was it, 1/5 of a cent, something like that? So he's in favor of this teeny tiny sales tax for 24 new police officers, and the way that he's going to keep them honest, the way that he is going to protect the good whistleblowers, because many times when cops say, that person assaulted that handicapped person, like Christopher Dorner, they get fired. There's somebody in West Virginia, he didn't murder a suicidal person. He didn't murder the suicidal person when the other cop did, and he got fired for it. But you didn't discharge your firearm? And he was like, well, I'm in the military, so, we don't just start shooting willy-nilly as soon as there's a sticky situation. So Kevin Cover now has his Facebook page. Kevin Cover is now, we could talk to him. We could see what he actually believes in. Out of all these candidates, only one of them have a platform. Only Taylor Voss, who's running for school board, he's got a platform. I don't know what these other candidates, they all have their wall, they got their main issue, but they don't have a platform. They don't have their overall philosophy. They don't have their biography. They don't have their motivation. Why are you getting into this? Why do you think that you're going to be the person who we should all entrust to enrich and to make powerful? Well, actually, with the school board, they don't make any money. So the people running for school board will not become rich. They'll have some power, but they won't be as powerful as the superintendent. The superintendent's the entire show. The superintendent is the entire thing. So the school board will have to be begging, for the superintendent. But that's sort of the city council too, right? City manager is the boss. So you have to get your city manager in line, or you have to get your mayor in line. You got to get your chief executive in line if you're the legislative branch. And that's why I like having 3 branches of government, because the legislative branches, they check on the executive branch. So Tommy Farrell is for an oversight board. Then you have Jason Muniz. Jason Muniz is for free Wi-Fi for the city of Pueblo. And then you have Jared Polis. Jared Polis is running for governor, and I'll pay attention more to that, the governor's race and all those elections happening next year after this city council election. But Jared Polis is for single-payer health care. Not only does Jared Polis want single-payer health care for the national, government, he says if the country doesn't get it, then he will get it here for the state. Carrie Kennedy said that she was for single-payer health care. She got her applause line, but when I asked her if she was for single-payer health care here in the state, she basically wiggled out of it. She didn't answer the question. So Carrie Kennedy, Jared Polis is for single-payer health care. Jared Polis actually believes in single-payer health care. When it comes to telling Washington, D.C., yeah, they should get a single-payer health care, but how come Carrie Kennedy can't get single-payer health care here in this state? If Washington, D.C. fails, I want a governor that's going to pick up the slack of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. fails to get us single-payer health care, then Colorado steps up and says, this is how you take care of your own people. Health care is life, and yes, we give a shit about our citizens' lives. So Jared Polis is for single-payer health care. That's a good thing. That's an important issue. That's a good litmus test to divide the progressives from the corporatist Democrats. Jared Polis is for single-payer health care. Tommy Farrell is for an oversight board for the police. So there will be a check on the police. Right now we don't have a check on the police. Which branch of government does the police work for? If you don't have an answer already for that, then perhaps they don't work for any branches. Maybe they're their own branch unto themselves. And if they're their own branch, they need some oversight. They need to check. We're going to check our mayor, we're going to check our legislatures, we're going to check our judicial branch, but we're not going to check the police. So that's the fourth branch of government. And this branch of government, we don't check. There's no check. So we have three branches of government, and then we have one branch that just does as the hell as they please. So he seems to be genuine, honest. He's an everyman. That's another thing about having zero political experience. Kevin Cover is an everyman. So he says if he can do this, maybe young people will come forward and get involved as well. So Kevin Cover is actually trying to inspire others, which is altruistic. It doesn't sound like he's standing up and trying to get power for himself. He wants power in order to help others. He wants to run for it. He just wants his campaign to be an inspiration for young people. Kevin Cover is 30 years old, so that's important. You know, he's younger, which would be more vibrant, more passionate, and he probably has, be more susceptible to new ideas, to taking the city in a new direction. Now, his big thing was, we just need to be proud. If we just were proud of Pueblo City, Jason Munoz said the same thing. We just need to be proud. And so, be proud of who you are, be proud of your accomplishments, but you can't be proud of, crime and poverty and the lack of democracy. These are structural issues Pueblo City has had for centuries. We haven't been breaking the 50% threshold rate when it comes to turnout. We've had perpetual poverty. We've had poverty here the whole time. Nobody's addressing this issue, so essentially they're working overtime to make sure the 1% elite is doing well, but they aren't doing shit about the poverty. How many Christian churches do we have around here? In their thing, care about the poor? Do they truly care about the poor? It almost seems like they suck the money out of people's pockets. I don't see them enriching anybody. What about these damn goat heads, right? All these goat heads, you want to come here to Pueblo City and you want a bike ride? Well, you're going to have several inner tubes and make sure you have, that green gunk or whatever, so to reinforce your tires. There's goat heads all over the place. So we just supposed to be proud of our goat heads? Yeah, come to Pueblo City. There's, mountains of goat heads. We got Goat Head Mountain. You will not have a single bike tire survive if you come to Pueblo City because these goat heads have taken the city over. So I want him to be more nuanced, okay? So we can be proud of the good things, and I believe that what is good, what is right about Pueblo City can fix what is wrong with Pueblo City. So there's good and bad in most things, right? So to assume what? We're just supposed to have pride in ourselves regardless of our faults. I think we should have an authentic pride in our accomplishments. We should have an authentic pride, in our river walks. We should have authentic pride in getting school together and authentic pride in, I like the city meetings. Personally, I like the city meetings. I like that the water is clean. I like the safety that the police have been providing. The people of Pueblo are good, calm, gentle people. A little nervous, a little uptight, but they're good people. So there's a lot of good things that's going on with Pueblo. But if there's nobody in government who's taking care of poverty, then they're just going to go right over them. They're just going to drive right over the poor. So I think just an empty pride doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Be proud of yourselves. I think it's, we used to have mayors, right? We got the city government 1954 charter. Be proud of your 1954 charter. You want to be proud of yourselves. Be proud that at one point in time there was progressives in this county, in this city, that got a constitutional convention that give us home rule status, and now Pueblo City has their own autonomy to make their own choices, to govern the city as they see fit, without the state or the feds interfering. This is our city, and this has been our city since 1954. If we truly had pride in ourselves, we would have pride in the 1954 charter, which is something incredible. It's a revolutionary moment for Pueblo, city. April 4th, was it April 4th, 1954? How is that day not celebrated like the 4th of July? That day should be bigger than the 4th of July because that's Pueblo City's 4th of July. That's when the city of Pueblo itself, one town, one municipality. So he just seems to be agreeing with things. He's inclined to support the street repair utility. I don't understand why we're putting a street tax on water bills. You want to get the city's water, well, you're going to have to pay for the streets too. Well, shit, privatizing would prevent shit like that from happening. And Michael Stapleton would try to privatize the waterworks. He would try to get rid of all the government assets. So Kevin Cover is for the small tax for the 24 new police officers. What about Jenny Paulson's, measure? Question 300. I think you should look at that. I think that's actually going to be very important. It's brilliant. There's a very, an incredible brilliance to it. So Kevin Cover didn't make a stand with Jenny Paulson's question 300. He is saying that he's for the 24 new officers. So essentially he's for giving Troy Davenport 24 new officers, but not Jenny Paulson. Why does he think that Troy Davenport is better than Jenny Paulson? That's essentially the question. Who do you trust more? Who do you trust more to look over the cops, to provide the cops oversight? Troy Davenport or Jenny Paulson? He's chosen Troy Davenport. So it seems like he's just kind of being agreeable. This author, right, Peter Roper's probably like, so what do you think about that, right? Asking these leading questions. So he's saying that he's for the street repair utility tax on our water bills, which is a $30 loan or 30-year loan. He says that we should look into getting out of the Black Hills energy deal early. So I hate when they do shit like that. Well, we really need to look into this. Well, Jason Munoz says he's going to look into it too. Donald Trump says he's going to look into it too. What the fuck does that mean, look into it? I want to know that you're green. I want to know that you want all the solar power, all the wind power to come here to Pueblo. You want all the houses of Pueblo to have solar panels on top of them. You are so pro-alternative energy that, no, Black Hills Energy, yeah, we're just going to drop. We're going to try to, slowly phase out of this thing. But we got to get out of this contract. We got a deadline. By 2035, we're going to be completely green. So let's take our trash. Let's make electricity out of our trash. Let's get geothermal heating. Let's use the heat that comes up out of the earth. Let's use the sunlight. Let's use the wind. What about electric cars, right? We can invest in electric cars. We can invest in Tesla. Tesla had free energy. Somehow you can, light an entire field of light bulbs just by free electricity in the air. George W. Bush, baby Bush, talked about switchgrass. So there's lots of different ways, lots of different strategies for energy. My friend Ronnie Lee Smith had this magnet that always kept turning a generator that just kept going in a circle just from the magnetic power. Geothermal heating, we've got wind power, we've got turning trash into electricity, we've got solar power. But what are we really investing in? Are we as a city investing in any of this? And I know the city is limited with money, but they can always do educational campaigns. They can come out and say, here's what we're working on, here's the challenges that we got to deal with. So anybody who wants to help tackle this project, these are the complications. These are the issues that we have to work on in order to get this thing accomplished. So he's in favor of the street repair tax on our water bills. He's saying, yeah, we should look into getting out of Black Hills, that Black Hills deal. He's in favor for 24 new police officers for Troy Davenport, but not for Jenny Paulson. Why not? Why not for Jenny Paulson? Who do you trust more, Jenny Paulson or Troy Davenport? So that's ultimately the question that the city of Pueblo is being asked. Who do you trust more? Who do you want to give? And she's going to get some more money. She might even be able to get 30 new police officers. But essentially, she's got this overall plan where the neighborhoods, the police and the neighborhoods are working in tandem with one another, which if, implemented correctly, that would be a great idea. It'd be more towards community policing. It would be more about police officers just wanting to increase the high quality of life. They genuinely care about us. They want us to, they know us. They know, about what we're doing, what our goals are, what our fears are. They know about us. They know who we are. And so by knowing who we are, they get to keep an eye on everybody. But more importantly, they get to show that what they're doing is they are protecting and serving the public. They're not just protecting and serving themselves and their buddies and their, banker friends, but they truly believe to protect and serve. And they are good police officers who want to, protect the community. That's their goal. That's what they want to do. Now, if you don't have a repertoire with me, so I don't know if Kevin Cover knew that or not when he said he was for Troy Davenport getting 24 new police and not Jenny Paulson. So he made a decision. He took a position, and his position is give Troy Davenport more police. So maybe he'll vote for Jenny Paulson too. Maybe he'll be pro Jenny Paulson, having community neighborhood council, cops, and for Troy Davenport. But we don't know yet. And he hasn't He needs a platform. He does have a Facebook page, so write up your platform. What is Kevin Cover's wall? I have no idea. I have no idea what Kevin Cover will do when he gets into office. So he's blindly in favor of the so-called strong mayor. So in his mind, right, is a strong daddy good? Yeah, I want a strong daddy. But it's a private group who has a 10-page document, 70 different amendments. There's a runoff election. We're changing our elections. Now we're going to have a runoff election, which I approve of. It will get a majority winner, but I also approve of instant runoff voting. So we only need one election. A runoff election will be an entire another election. So we'll have to pay for one election. We'll have to pay for two elections. So it's a little expensive, but did you know that? Did you know that strong mayor turns our elections into a runoff election? If you didn't know that, you're turning our thing into a runoff election. Pay attention to what the fuck you support. 10 pages. This strange mayor is a 10-page document. It's a coup d'etat, an electoral coup d'etat. It's 70 different amendments in one. So it's not just one amendment, it's 70 changes. So they say strong mayor, but when they say strong mayor, they're saying, do you support changing the aviation director? Do you support changing the powers of the fire chief? What kind of powers are they getting? Are they getting more power? Are they getting less power? And also, I mean, I got a million reasons to be against this, but the dumbest thing, and I think I'm sure he's a smart guy, but he's ignorant, so he doesn't know about strong mayor, but he's cutting his own dick off. He's cutting his own balls off. He's a eunuch. He's walking into city council, and he says, you know what? I want no power. Give all the power to the executive. That's not what I want in a city council. City council is the legislative branch. City council is the legislative branch, and I want my legislative branch to be strong. I want a strong judicial, strong legislative, strong mayor, strong executive, strong city manager. I want all three branches to be strong, and that's the point of having three branches of government, is that they will jealously fight for their power. If you're going to walk in and say, you know what, I don't want any power whatsoever, either A, you're like Jesus and Gandhi, right? You're just so Mr. Humble, but I don't think that's true. I don't think you're Mr. Humble because you're running for office, so you want power, but then you're saying that you don't. Well, when Kevin Cover gets into city council, I want him to have a say-so. So if Kevin Cover wants to do all this stuff that he just said that he wanted to do with the Black Hills Energy and the police tax, if he wants to legislate and he wants to have a say-so on council, he's going to have to stand up. He's going to have to be strong. He's going to have to distinguish himself in some way, and he's going to have to try to get, he's going to have to try to build coalitions. He's going to have to try to get all these governors, these people who are in government, on the same page so he can get his initiatives passed. But if he doesn't really know what's going on and he's being so damned agreeable to the reporter who's the establishment reporter, then, is he just going to get in there and just kiss whoever's, the president, whoever they elect president, and we're going to have a president of council still and a mayor? So strong mayor says that city council doesn't hire and fire any positions in city. So he doesn't have any hiring and firing ability. He doesn't have the power to arrest. He doesn't have the power to hire and fire anybody. And then the budget goes to the mayor. So he's not going to have any decisions when it comes to the money. Well, what fucking power is left? What power is left? The power of your personality, the power of your smile. You don't have, money is soft power, right? It's not fascist power. So you got soft power. You got the power to maybe influence policy and write laws. So you get to write ordinances. So you still get to do that, I think. You still get to write ordinances, I hope. I don't think strange mayor is going to take away the legislature's ability to legislate. They could. Who knows? I don't know who these people are. He doesn't either. So Nick Gardasar, there's one theory that it's all about his son, so his son can run and become mayor. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested, and I think a lot of people that support this just see themselves as mayor. Okay, yeah, if you're the king, you think everything would be great, but what if that asshole over there is king? You want an asshole king? A king that just shitty to everybody, who's violent, who's teaching everybody to be violent thugs. So he just said if there's a good candidate for mayor, I'd support that. So he's already assuming strong mayor has passed. So he don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Kevin Cover is brand new, so I'm glad that he's being honest. So, hopefully he'll continue to be honest, and I hope that he evolves and he'll listen to the public when it comes to his viewpoints on these things, because I don't like any of these decisions. I want him to get into city council, and I want him to have a strong progressive platform, and I want him to champion that strong progressive platform. I want him to have decisions when it comes to the budget. Let's put emphasis on public works and parks instead of jails. Let's go that direction. Let's beautify, let's go towards solar trees and away from jails. We need more solar trees here. Let's brighten Pueblo City up. You believe in Pueblo City? Then be strong about it. Fight for the right things. You need budget powers. You need the power to hire and fire people. Without those powers, you're just writing a law here and there. Don't poop in the sidewalk. That's all you can do. Write a law that says, and you get to help appropriate different bills, but essentially it's all the mayor. So you'll just be a little tiny orphan stepkid. You'll be a red-headed, orphan stepkid begging Daddy to give you more porridge. Please, Daddy, can I have some more porridge? Please, Daddy, I really want to pass, this $100 street light. It's dark. It's dark there. The same thing can happen again. You could have spray painters, you could have somebody come out and say it, and then he gets shot, and then you don't know what happened or who did it. It could still happen again. We haven't fixed the problem. And if Kevin Cover said that he would be in favor of getting a light for... So if Kevin Cover got on board with the idea of getting a light for Ricky Muniz, now you got to go get it. Now you got to go get it. Yeah, you support the idea. Now I got to get the rest of council on board. And then I got to get the mayor on board, and then once it passes, then I got to get the people who's going to do it, Public Works, contractors, city manager's office. So once I get the legislation, once I get the policy passed, which is part of implementation of government, getting your legislation and your budgets passed, but then the next step is to enforcing that, you're the legislative branch, so you're not the executive. But I'm saying that once you pass, you're going to get a street light built here for Ricky Muniz. Ricky Muniz is going to get a street light dedicated in his honor. Good. But can you do that? Can you do it? Kevin Cover, can he find where the money is? Can he get the budget? Can he appropriate enough money for the street lights? Can he do that? My analysis right now is probably not. I think that Kevin Cover, if he told you that he was in favor of Ricky Muniz's street light, he would get in there and fight, but he won't have much say-so, and it will die. And so, therefore, the power of your ideas as the citizen is only as powerful as the representative. And if the representative is going into city council saying they don't want city council to have any power, they want Big Daddy to have all the power, and they want no power, well, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They need to fight for their own power because them not having power, they represent people. You're going in there and you're going to promise them this and you're going to promise them that. How are you going to get all that stuff if you don't even have any power? You don't have any money. You can't budget. You can what? Just don't poop on the lawn. You can write a law. So you'd be able to add, onto the noxious weeds list, put poison ivy onto the noxious weeds list. But I want a light for Ricky Muniz. I want a light for Ricky Muniz. And I'm not sure if Kevin Cover could do that just because he's a newcomer. Now, he could learn. He can grow his wings on the way down. And Donald Trump hired that one guy for not having political experience. What political experience do you have? None. Well, come right in. So I think Kevin Cover would be good because he's a new face. But since I don't know his platform, since it seems like he's very much in agreement with Peter Roper's positions and the establishment's positions, I don't know if, if somebody introduces an idea to you, I would think that your default would be no. And that's what I liked about Mark Aliff. When I talked to Mark Aliff, he was against all the ballot measures before Garrison Ortiz put his jail measure on, so he could be for that jail thing. But Mark Aliff is against the sales tax, for the sales tax for the streets, the sales tax for the police, this Question 300, against the strong mayor legislation, the strong mayor ballot question. So the charter convention that's not a charter convention, the brand new charter convention that's being foisted upon you because these assholes don't want to invite you in. They don't want you into their charter convention. You get no say-so in their charter convention. They're going to rewrite the goddamn rules and you're not going to get a say-so. That's what strong mayor is for. Strange mayor is an electoral coup d'etat. So Kevin Cover, you're in favor of an electoral coup d'etat. I think you should say no to any new ideas and then let the person convince you of the idea. Convince me. I am a reasonable person, and I can look at the pros and cons of things, and I can make decisions. So convince me. But if you're just saying, yeah, I'll do that for you, but No, I don't want that. I don't want you just to be a rubber stamp for the people. I don't want you to be a rubber stamp for anybody. Don't be a rubber stamp for Chris Nickel. Don't be a rubber stamp for Larry Atencio. Be your own independent person. Be your own independent voice. And fight like hell for that which you believe. People are going to believe in you, and they're going to vote for you. And if you get in that seat and you don't fight for what you believe, this makes me think about Ed Brown and Ray Aguilera. And Ray Aguilera, he's the one that's behind this water tax for the street repairs. So the 30-year tax on our water bills for street repairs. Now, Ray Aguilera, he wanted this all bundled up. We had the exact same question before, but it was police, fire, and street repairs, or park repairs, or something like that. There's 3 different things that the taxes were going to be earmarked for. So they started working on that. They were going to bundle the police with the road tax together. They're going to put those 2 taxes together. But now they did it completely, they severed it. And then Ray Aguilera seemed like he was surprised that they kind of cut the road tax out because that was his one promise to the people. So his one promise to the people, his wall, was being, sidestepped. And now this tax is going on to our water bill. So it's not even a sales tax. So it's completely changed to something different. They've separated the cop with the street repairs. And they've changed this thing. So Ray Aguilera didn't seem like he had much say-so. He didn't have much respect. When he was in city council saying, I want a tax for these street repairs, the other councilman didn't give a shit. So that means Ray Aguilera, he eventually got it. He got it on the ballot, so when they kick and scream and,